Thank you.
We're off for a ride today. It's looking like being around the 70-mile mark, and we're going to be finding a new route, hopefully. As with all new routes, there's a bit of exploration required. I always check routes on satellite view so I can get an idea of what the paths look like, but sometimes they're under trees and so on, so you can't do it. So we'll see how we get on. I'm also going to use today's ride to road test a product. I'd recently been reading about a new material called Repreve. It's a new process that's been designed by a US company, and they're able to make a textile yarn from used plastic water bottles. And I read that Repreve supply companies such as the North Face, Patagonia, Provis, and these are all companies that are making garments out of recycled plastic bottles. So it was quite interesting to me when I was contacted by Provis, and they invited me to road test one of their jackets. Now, when that invite came in, it was winter time, so I plumped for their Nightrider jacket, and it's that I'm going to road test today while on this ride. One of the major claims that Provis make about their garments is that they are breathable. They do have some breathability data that puts some numbers on this, but there's nothing like trying it for real. The jacket does have this mesh lining, and that's certainly going to help with the wicking effect, I would imagine. And the other big feature is that there is this full width flap on the shoulders, so that's also going to help with ventilation. One other thing worth mentioning at this point is this feature which is made of millions of tiny reflective beads, and this grey material almost fluoresces in light, but I'll demonstrate that a bit later on in the dark. The other important thing for me is this bright orange. I want it to be visible during daylight as well, and they have a range of colours, so if orange isn't your thing, there are other colours too. So I took the jacket out for a test run, and that ride was 50 miles. It was pretty cold to start with, and it only got up to 4 degrees C, so it wasn't a hot day. However, I didn't sweat at all. And in fairness, those are the sort of conditions you'd be riding in with that jacket anyway, and probably not for those sort of distances. But I wanted to give it a really tough test, so I decided I wanted to go on a longer ride, and that was the purpose of the ride that you're going to see. The temperature was forecast to rise to 12 degrees C, but in actual fact it got up to 14 degrees C, so quite a test. And when you consider at the end of the ride I had my 12% Nemesis Hill, the Casthorpe Killer, so it was at that point at the top of the climb that I checked for any sweating, and you'll see what the results were if you watch the video through to the end. So without further ado, let's get on the ride. Good morning, I'm on my way to meet Wendy for today's ride. We're planning around the 70 or 80 miles today, and I'll tell you more about the route shortly. But what I can tell you is I'm very, very glad that I'm wearing this jacket this morning, because the temperature is 1 degree C. But while I'm very happy with it now, I think it could be a different matter when it warms up later, because we're looking at an estimate of 12 to 14 degrees. So we'll see how we go. But whatever happens, I'm going to wear this jacket all day. Not only is it chilly, it's quite blowy this morning as well, so apologies for any wind noise. I'll try and keep it to a minimum, but sometimes it's a bit too much. Some time ago I made a decision to only review products where there was some sort of innovation involved, and this is why I'm always pleased to review a Redshift product, and likewise with Tyre Glider. I get all sorts of random requests for reviews. Only yesterday I had a request to make a 1-minute video to be included in one of my videos to advertise a VPN. And another regular seems to be video games. I'm often asked to review video games. Well, the last game I played, I think, was that ping pong game on the ZX81. So I think they must just pick people at random. But occasionally there'll be a request from a company that has clearly done their homework. And Proviz was one such company. Now, I knew nothing about Proviz. I'd seen their advertising, obviously, but never really looked into them. So before I responded, I did some research. What I found was very interesting. The company was founded by two brothers, and those brothers were brought up by the sea. They had a great interest in marine life. They even studied it at university. So they, like most of us, would be pretty upset by the amount of plastic that ends up in our oceans. They then went to work in the City of London, where they commuted by bicycle. And they realised that the clothing commuters were wearing, including themselves, fell short of what would be ideal. So they set about designing a range of clothing using sustainable materials. And this ticked two important boxes for them. One is they could offer a good range of clothing, but secondly, they could play a big part in keeping plastics out of the oceans. So for me, that was an ideal concept for me to review. There's nothing at all wrong with plastic. It's merely the way that we dispose of it that's a problem. So I was pleased to see that Proviz have a programme where their jackets can be returned for recycling. So providing we can keep plastic turning over and not going into the oceans or landfill, then that's a good thing. Because the temperature is going to rise later, I'm going to continue to wear this jacket. So that's going to give us a good idea of how the jacket stands up to warmer conditions. Now, in the summer and warm days, then clearly you're going to want to wear something like a reflective gilet if you're riding at night. I wouldn't think this would be the choice of jacket. But if it's raining, I'm sure the waterproof properties of this jacket are going to be very important to you. Go through the water, Wendy.
After you.
Go on then.
Test the deepness.
Is that a word?
Depth isn't deepness, depth. Oh. Let that sun shine. It's amazing how many people go through it.
So Wendy and I are planning today another trip to the Ledborough Viaduct, which I did a week ago.
Because?
Because we can. But what we're going to do today is try a slightly different route. So we'll go straight across the viaduct, but then turn off, and we're going to come back. It's not really a short way. It's still going to be around the 78 miles for Wendy. Now I've got about another probably 16 on top of that, so it'll be a case of, I don't know what mine will be, but it doesn't matter. It's not about the distance.
Sounds a long way.
Yeah, it is a long way. So that's what the plan is. So at the moment we're heading into Newark on this lovely old disused railway that's been converted to a path. The only issue we have along here sometimes are dog walkers with long leads. But mostly, as you see, they move out the way. If not, we have to wait.
Doing some scaffolding work.
Oh, smells good, the baking.
It does.
It's too early for a coffee stop, isn't it?
You sure? Ooh, just before the lorry. Whee! Woo!
think we might overtake a cyclist in a minute, Wendy.
Oh God, we never do that.
Unusual.
That's unheard of.
Morning.
It's fantastic. Was it 12 miles into Lincoln?
Something like that.
Along this track.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Really good, isn't it? Or was it you cross one road? I think it's
Yep, just one.
Skillingthorpe, isn't it? I think that's it. That's just amazing, really, isn't it? Wish we had more, but we'll be grateful of this.
Yeah.
And the fact, you know, you can wiggle through Lincoln and all the way out to Boston, just about. Well,
Yeah.
Woodall Spa, isn't it?
There's just that little bit between Woodall and Boston that's on road, but it's quiet roads. There you go.
It's really good. Just could do with the north-south one now. I think no east-west.
There's no pleasing you, is there?
I know. I just like to, you know, ambitions, want to look forward. No resting on laurels. Always more to do. Eek. Oh, watch this.
Got to go over these roots.
Whee! Ugh. Ugh. Go on, there's more.
The wind's fuddling through here, isn't it?
Not kidding.
We're doing something a little bit different today in that we're looking at a slightly different route, something that neither of us have done before, and we're just working out whether it's a good way or not. So we'll see. We've got a turning coming up here, but I'm rather hoping that if the road is where I think it is, we should get a view of the viaduct from down below.
Be good. They always look better from below. Oh, that's better. Oh, muddy. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Oh,
and guess who's taken his mud guards off?
Wow.
Blimey.
We're in the middle of nowhere and there's a cycle path.
Yeah, exactly. We must be in Nottinghamshire.
I presume it's because the school must be in one or other of them.
Yeah.
North or South Clifton, so it's a
Great, isn't it?
way of getting them there.
Oh, look, if you go right here, Wendy, we can have a look at the viaduct.
Stunning, isn't it?
And there's a great view of the viaduct, look.
Wow.
Shame about the pylon stuck in the way, but it's quite dramatic, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
When you see how long it is, look.
Yeah, you don't realise there's more arches over here, do
Yeah.
you?
Because
When you're cycling it, you don't see it.
As we were saying, this is obviously all floodplain down here, isn't it, for the river? Fantastic church, isn't it?
Very old graveyard, it's 1780s, 1730s.
Yeah.
That's a
And
real
they're
old
just the ones
grave.
that we can see.
Yeah. Well, you're talking 300 years, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think this is an extension, an add-on, this bit.
Probably.
Or the other way around.
Does
actually.
I think this looks more modern.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the tower would have been on the original church. We'll have to look it up, and we'll put the details on the screen. It's a shame we can't go in, because those stained glass windows would be stunning. But the sadly, churches these days have to be locked because of vandalism and so on.
Our church has got the peregrine falcons back again.
Are they back?
Yeah, they've got 3 eggs, I think.
Right, and have they got the, is there a camera watching them?
Yeah, it's so much fun. I keep having to sneak in and check them and see how they're doing. She's just sitting on the eggs at the moment. I think it's about a month. Apparently they're the earliest they've ever laid this year. It's quite exciting.
It is exciting,
I love watching. It's really good.
On a dusty hare of this parish who broke the world record of points scored in rugby union in 1981.
Yeah, there's a name.
Yeah, he came from here. And he was awarded the MBE in January 1989. How about that?
Yeah, I remember.
Career total of 7,191 points. Who knew?
Wow.
If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I really am impressed with this Wahoo Roam. However, it's only as good as the person operating it. And I don't know what I've done. I've probably reversed the route or something, but it's not following the route. It's just trying to reroute me back home. So we're on a normal voyage of discovery, and of course it's good this way because we often find new routes. And we're on just such a new route now. No idea where we're going to end up.
Fishing lakes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's probably big enough to sail on, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's huge.
There's water everywhere. Well, so far it's looking okay.
Yeah.
But
Better than being on that main road.
you'd better, yeah, much better. But hopefully it's going to come out where we think it will.
Yeah.
If not, we'll be going back.
Ooh.
But I mean, you think about it, the river's on our right.
Yeah, it feels right.
So we're in the right place, we'll see. But it doesn't matter, does it? We're riding our bikes. We're not trying to arrive anywhere, although I would like some lunch soon.
Yeah, I'm ready for something food. Oh God, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm like a little kid. Oh, look at this, look at that. There's a lot of lakes.
Yeah. My sat-nav skills hadn't have failed me. We wouldn't have known about this.
Well, indeed.
So
Unless this was the route your sat-nav was taking.
So it's a happy result.
Assuming we get somewhere.
Mind you, we're not out yet.
Anyway, yeah. Wow. Certainly off the beaten track here, aren't you?
Yeah, but when you think about it, it's not far off that main road.
No. Is this river or just water?
I think it's just flood water.
We're on a road now. Oh, but it's stunning.
It is, isn't it? That water. Yeah, I can't.
Flooded, isn't it, with the trees?
I can't tell whether that's the river or just flood water.
No.
But you know,
think
it
it's
could
the
be the river. Yeah.
I do think it's the river. Yeah, look at the way it goes into the distance. It's got to be.
Yeah. Stunning.
Oh, that way or that way?
I think this way. But, well, no, let's go this way. This looks more our style. We can always ask this person.
This will bring us into the back, Collingham.
I think it is a wildlife
Yeah,
sanctuary, this part,
I think
isn't it?
it is.
Now, it's saying it's owned by Tarmac, so
Right.
I'm assuming it's going to come out near that pit that we see.
Oh, yeah, I think it might come out. There's a road down in the village,
Yeah, okay,
which
well,
points to the Trent, so
Yeah.
I thought it might.
So do you think this is part of that trail that they're developing? The Trent Valley
I don't know.
Way, I think it is, or something.
Possibly.
We'll see afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a very, very nice track.
It's for gravel bikes.
Yep. Yes, I don't think you'd want to be along here on your road bike.
Look.
Now what's happening? I think we're going to have to go
down here.
Probably down to a road.
Public footpath. Look.
Straight on, I think. Oh, low road.
Low road.
Tell you what, you take the high road.
Probably joins. Yeah. I think. Who knows?
Well, we have some habitation up here. Who needs a sat-nav, Wendy? We've found our way. This is back on the route that we intended. I think we've come around a slightly different way, but in fact I think a better way.
Absolutely.
Because you can't always tell from a map how rideable it's going to be. But we're actually now on the, is it the Trent Valley
Trail?
Trent Valley Trail.
New one on us.
Yeah, we've seen it signposted, but never really knew where it went to, and we've read that they're spending some money upgrading parts of it as well, so it's definitely one we'll do again, eh?
Definitely, absolutely. Oh, fantastic. We must be in Nottinghamshire.
I think it's time for some lunch, Wendy, so are we going to this new cafe in Collingham?
Yes, we are.
Do you know where it is?
No.
Do you know roughly where it is?
Next to the co-op.
Well, do you know where the co-op is?
No.
Oh.
It's
Right.
not that
I don't know.
big.
I really don't know why I bring you on rides.
I know it's open.
So this must be Collingham here. I would think,
good,
is
I hope so. Deliveries only, store entrance on High Street.
Fortunately, Wendy found the coffee stop. And what a place.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's called Beyond Coffee. And what do we have? Moroccan sourdough.
Oh, on sourdough.
Yeah, and it was really, really nice. I would say it's not your bacon roll sort of place, is it? I don't think there was one of those on the menu. But if you're looking for it, and we had a problem finding it, it's right next to the co-op, and this is the place. So, well worth a visit.
Definitely.
When I came out of the cafe there and put this jacket back on, I thought, wow, I'm really overdressed here. But it was actually quite chilly in the wind, wasn't it, Wendy? You were a bit chilly at the traffic lights.
I was, yeah, in the shade.
But the temperature now is actually 14 degrees C.
Yay!
And I'm feeling fine in it, I have to say.
When it gets to 16, I get my shorts out.
I must make the point that physiologically we're all different. And I'm sure that's the case where perspiration's involved. I think it's also a fact that as we get older, we do perspire less. And for transparency, I should say that I rode with a chap for the first time a few weeks ago, and he uses a Proviz jacket. And he said it makes him sweat. Now, this is a younger guy, and he does put a lot into his cycling. So I would imagine he probably does heat up a lot more than I do. So clearly, while this jacket is designed to breathe, I guess there's a limit on how much it can breathe.
Feeling famous?
It was quite nice. We just coming through a gateway there, and a man in a a pickup said, "Are you Roy?" And he was the local Sustrans Ranger, which is excellent. So we've had a good long chat with him, Barry. So hello, Barry. Nice to have met you.
Barry.
And he's going to do the Way of the Roses later in the year. So hopefully we'll see Barry sometime on the road. But yeah, it's nice to know these people are out there looking after these routes. And on that note, sometimes people say, "Oh, I think I passed you on the road," but they're never sure. But you will be sure in future, because I've just taken delivery of a personalised jersey, and it's very bright, and it's got "Ride with Roy" on the back. So you'll only know it's me once you
when they overtake you.
Once they've yeah, or when they've passed me the other way. Yeah. So yeah, well, people overtake me most of the time, so it's probably the best place to put it. But I'll reveal that when the weather's better and we're back in shorts.
Soon.
Yeah, sooner the better. So we're going under the A1, frenetically passing over the top while we quietly slip underneath.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Just this couple of weeks has made all the difference down here, isn't it? Everything's bursting out, the foliage.
Green, hasn't it,
Yeah.
everywhere?
And
It's
there's
all prettier.
perfumes in the air of the various blossoms. Well, that's us near the end of the ride, for you anyway. So what do you think you'll have done today?
Well, I'm on 73k, so I guess it'll probably be about 85k.
Yeah.
Like that.
Good.
It's perfect.
Just right, isn't it?
Yeah, my legs are starting to feel it now.
Yeah. Yeah, mine are a little bit.
It's been really good fun though, hasn't it?
Very good, a lovely day. So we'll do it again soon.
Places.
One of the things I wanted to show you is the effect these reflective panels have in the dark. The problem I had is that Wendy and Terry very kindly mounted my camera in their car, and they followed me in the dark when I was wearing this jacket. They were astounded at the brightness of these reflective panels. They likened it to how these motorway road signs shine up. Problem was that the GoPro seemed to cancel that effect out, and it wasn't anywhere near what they saw. So what I've done here, I've used a different camera, and I'm showing you the effect using my bike headlight. Ah, there's a heron. Beautiful bird. I think it's the same heron again, it's just moved down the canal. Now I do have a small problem in that I'm sure this jacket will be waterproof, but I want to test it. And you know what it's like? When you don't want it to rain, it does, and when you do want it to rain, it doesn't. And it's been a doesn't situation over the past few days, so I haven't managed to test it in the rain. So what I'm going to do is ask my wife to just spray me lightly with the hose so we can simulate rain. And what I'm going to do is put some paper towels in the two zip-up pockets because they're claimed to be waterproof, as is the one at the rear. But to test this, I'll put some paper towels in and we'll see what they're like after I've been given a spray. So what I want you to do is spray me with the hose to simulate rain. Thank you. I think you enjoyed that too much. So I'm just telling myself off before I touch anything. And I'll get this paper out now. There's one piece, totally dry. This side, also totally dry. So I think that was a pretty good test. I certainly wouldn't be out in a deluge like that. But if you'll excuse me now, I've got to tackle this hill, so I'm going to have to stop talking because I can't do both. Well, I've just about got my breath back after climbing my nemesis, Casthorpe Hill. I did push myself up there, so obviously I would have created a bit of heat. It's now 13 degrees and I'm 70 miles in on the ride. I've got a mile to go to get home, but I thought I'd stop immediately because this would be the best place to test for sweating. And I have to say, I'm humid, I would say, but certainly not wet in here, sweating at all. But I was sweating on the way up the hill, so this has certainly dissipated it very well. But as I said before, we're all different. If you're prone to high levels of perspiration, maybe something like this jacket won't cope with that. It's got to breathe at a certain rate, and obviously if you perspire more than it can breathe, then you will get sweaty. Another little thing I noticed was that I took my neck warmer off because I was hot, and it's got this very, very nice soft collar. So whereas some jackets can chafe, especially when you're cycling, this one hasn't done. So all in all, I'm impressed. I genuinely think it's working well for me. As always, I do try to get you a discount, but in this case I felt quite guilty because Proviz do come up with regular sales and their prices aren't extremely high. So I thought it might be pushing it a bit to ask for a discount, but in fairness to them, they've come through with a 5% discount. Now 5% might not seem an awful lot, but the good thing is that they've agreed to offer this for items that are on sale as well. So even if there's a great price on there, you can benefit from an extra 5%. Now for that, you need to go to the description below, click on where it says more, and you'll see a link. Now if you use that link, the channel will get a very small commission from each sale. So if you are looking to buy anything from Proviz, I would ask you to use that link because it does help the channel with the running expenses. I need to make an update to what you've just seen because yesterday I had to do a ride recce for our upcoming Ride to the Woods event at the weekend, and it was torrential rain at one point. It was coming sideways with the wind and I was absolutely pummeled with rain. And I've got to say, bone dry. So I was really, really glad of the waterproof capabilities of that jacket. So if you didn't think my wife throwing a bucket of water over me was a good enough test, then I can assure you it got one yesterday. So thanks for joining me. I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoyed that ride with us. We've got many more to come. So if you'd like to give this video a like, I'd be grateful. And if you could subscribe and hit that bell, you'll be informed of any new videos that come up. So thanks again and look forward to seeing you soon.